How's it going, riders? You out there having fun, enjoying the trails, and just enjoying your summer? I know I am. It's a lot of fun. However, I figured I would talk to you about something a little different, just to kind of let's get your opinion on something. I got a buddy. Some of you may know him. The FLB Club. He's in Afghanistan right now. He's deployed for his company, contractor, and his Facebook page is got locked out. They think some fraud or something. So click this link and you can reset everything and get back in. And he clicks that and it's like not available. Like he gets an error page, and he's been trying and trying. So he had to create a second account, personal account, so he could get on and be like, hey, I've got locked off, and we all refriended him, his family. I added him on our trail taker page and stuff like that, but he's locked out of his FLB club page, and he's locked out of an ad he ran. They canceled that. They literally removed all his posts temporarily. Even like in my message window, I was like, where did it go? And I realized it changed to Facebook user for name, no profile picture, and the messages within it shows mine, like going back, I could scroll back, but it all says like temporarily, these have been removed or something like that. And it's like, what the heck? I mean, okay, let's assume there's fraud. Let's say it's my account, there's fraud, and at this day and time, they think the fraud occurred. Well, you would think all posts and anything at that date and time would maybe be removed, but anything previously, it would still be there, right? And then that your name wouldn't change to Facebook user and all this stuff. I mean, that seems pretty bizarre and an extreme method to go about fighting hackers that get into your account and stuff like that. I mean, he's had that account ever since I've known him. So, it's been a long time established account. He doesn't post anything. He doesn't really, I don't know if he goes on news sites. I know he doesn't really get controversial on the news topics and post stuff like I have. So I've been in the Facebook ban. And I mean, that in itself is a totally another subject that is just really gimmicky within Facebook. They don't tell you and why, and there's no way to know what you did or how to fix it. But that's a totally different issue. He's, as far as he knows, his account looks like they suspected maybe because he's in Afghanistan, maybe he got on an IP or something, and it triggered an alert. They locked him out. He's supposed to click the link in the email, and it doesn't work. There's an error. So what do you do? Well, the problem with a company like Facebook is that they're so big and they're worth billions of dollars, but they have no real help desk. So you have to search for stuff, and I mean, it's pretty tedious. It takes a lot of time. It's a platform that is free, so you're not entitled to use it, but yet, when you're blocked out, it would be nice to be able to report to a company, any company, whether it's my company. I would want to know, hey, look, this just doesn't work. Where was I? So I might have to backtrack a little. Don't know where I was at in that process of thought. So you get Facebook locks you out. There's an error. You can't get on. And what are you going to do? Because they have, for a multi-billion-dollar company, they have no real help desk. They do have a phone number, but that's just an automated thing. They don't have a real help desk. So you pretty much have to use their pages. And I found a site that lists a bunch of stuff, so possibly he could figure out a way. I take things a little differently. If something like that happens, yeah, I'm not entitled to use their site necessarily. But at the same time, me as a business is where I was getting at. I would want to know if there's an error, because if it's happening to one person, it's probably happening a lot. And we probably don't know about the error. But how do you report an error when the company doesn't give you the ability to report errors. Like now, if there's a page that was like, hey, report an error and send the screenshot, and we can try to work with you to resolve this, because it's not working with you because you're banned. It's not working with you because you don't know how to post a photo or something like that. This is, you know, trying to recover an account that is yours, has been yours, and you're going through their process of email, but when you click the link, it just takes you to a page that has an error message, and you have screenshots, but you have no real person that you can give those to. And I think that's kind of BS. And I think this is why I'm kind of strong against Facebook being broken up, because they are a monopoly. Now you might argue, well, there's Twitter. Twitter is a totally different type of platform. You write these little short tweets. There's really not a way to store photos, like photo albums. You don't really run your business off Twitter. I don't like Twitter. I don't think it's comparable to Facebook at all. So what else is like Facebook? Google Plus. Google closed that, so there's no Google Plus. Okay, so what else? There's MeWe. I've used that, but no one's on it. And having one competitor is not really competition, especially when your competition is so big. To compete against them is just impossible. And Facebook buys up whoever they want. That's the unfortunate thing with these companies. They're so large that they're buying up technologies and other products at an alarming rate. Like Google, they'll just buy a company for that technology and shutter that company, and now they can do whatever they want with that technology. I think there's a lot wrong with that. Competition is good. So when these big, large companies, Google, Facebook, you could say Twitter or Instagram, all those, I forget who owns what, but isn't one of them owned by, isn't Facebook and Twitter the same company, or is it Instagram and Twitter? I mean, Facebook and Instagram the same company, or is it Instagram and Twitter? I can't remember, but yeah, aren't one of those they bought up? So it's kind of ridiculous. You have no ability to go elsewhere. So these companies should be broken up in some way. There should be competition, and there is no competition. And that's the sad part about it. And so when you have an issue like your business is run on a platform, that platform messes up, gives you an error code, you can't log back in, your ad is canceled, which potentially is costing you money, and you have to make another account using a separate email address to log in to then have, luckily, it's more than one business owner, so we could add him back into the mix. But man, that's a lot of hassle. So hey, if you have a Facebook business, if you have a Facebook group or page, take a second email and make a name, call it whatever you want, another relative, or not a real relative, but it could be your kid. Well, don't put their age, because you have to be over a certain age, but you know what I mean. Fred or whatever, and put them as an admin on your business page or any groups. And that way you have a backup and contingency plan. See, I learned that back in the IT days because I did contingency planning. So what if I can't log into this site? What am I going to do? Well, if I personally if Mark cannot log into that site, I have backups. I've always done that. That might be from my IT contingency writing days of, if the power goes down, what do I do at the company? Generators, what do I do? What's the next step? You open up the book and you follow along, like, this is what we're going to do. If the server goes down, what are we going to do? And that's the whole idea with contingency planning, is that you always have backup methods. And that's the same how I approach forums and nowadays Facebook. And I don't use Twitter, so personally I don't care if Twitter shut down. Oh well. The same with Instagram. But as far as Facebook, because you use that for business, use that for marketing, yeah, you're right. I have plenty of email addresses and I have extra users. And same with forums. I have extra users. I don't care what their terms of service are. They'll never even know unless I need a login. And even then, they probably wouldn't know because I probably wouldn't give it away on some of that. But I would definitely look at having a backup plan, especially if you run a business on Facebook. You're going to need it. It's just ridiculous not to, and you're setting yourself up for possible failure. Whether it's you deserve to be banned or removed from the platform, or it's an accident like here. It's a total accident. So what are you going to do? You have no recourse. You have no customer service. You have no one you can talk to. You can't plea with anyone. You can't explain. You can't send screenshots. All you can do is hope for the best. And I tend to take things a little further. I would contact every single email, whether it's related or not. It doesn't take me any time. I just craft one email and I cut and paste all the screenshots in text to those emails and send it out. And hopefully I hit somebody that has a brain and says, you know what, hey, let's get Bob over here in the development department or in the programming department to take a look at this issue and maybe resolve it. I would use every stop. If I'm deployed in Afghanistan, I would use the whole I'm deployed. I'm trying to talk to family and I also use your platform as a business and you stop my ad. So that pretty much puts that in limbo. And dang well, if he gets it back up and running, that ad's probably just going to start up as if nothing happened. Well, we probably don't want that ad because we already created a new ad. We're not going to want that ad to start. So then we're probably going to have to go to our bank and be like, we're going to do a chargeback. And who knows what can of worms that opens up with if you do that for Facebook. They might just suspend your account for that or something. So it becomes, because you have no one to go to, no one to help you. And I guess know that going into those platforms, but those platforms, especially Facebook, is so huge for businesses right now because you don't need a website. A lot of businesses are just run through having a Facebook page. And that's how small businesses are starting out. But the downside is you have no recourse. You're kind of SOL, if you have any issues. And God, you're just not going to get anywhere with them, and you're going to be in a world of hurt. So be careful out there. And anyways, that's how I would handle it, but I'm a little more gung-ho. To me, it doesn't hurt to hit every email address, every contact I can find, because maybe there's somebody out there that's going to agree with you. It takes no time once you craft that one email and you cut and paste it to a bunch of people. You might fall on some ears that will listen and say, well, there's a problem, here's a person that's not banned, and yeah, let's get this up and running. This is ridiculous, and I agree with you. And I don't know, it's just something I would do mainly because I have a business. I guess if I just had a personal account and they did it, I'd just be like, oh well. Even though I have so many photos up there, I would be a little teed because without formally being banned, and it's just because they thought suspicious activity. Come on, let me back in. That shouldn't be a reason why, you're making it so difficult on me to, like, your system's not working, and I have again no one to contact. Anyways, I'm rambling now, so thanks for listening. I thought it was pretty much BS. I'm definitely different than the FLB Club when it comes to resolving issues, and I tend to get things resolved, but I go all the way. Why? Well, you have nothing to lose. You spend a little bit of time. You might spend like 10 minutes crafting that email, and maybe you'll get a hold of somebody. It's unlikely with Facebook, but you never know which weird email address might just have somebody say, hey, yeah, that's right. But then again, I go right to the top in companies when I can because that's where issues are resolved. The lower people, they don't care. But it's getting to the top, and some of these tech companies are very hard. They make it very hard for you to do that. You might pretty much have to just write a letter and have the screenshots and mail it to them and say, hey, I need this resolved. I was deployed and I couldn't talk to family and friends, and I had a side business, and I had an ad going, the ad stopped, everything is gone, and it's a pain in the butt. So just be careful. That's all I'm trying to say. And please like, subscribe, and watch my other videos. Hopefully more enjoyable stuff like riding versus ranting about companies, billions of dollars that don't even have a help desk. That's pretty sad.